how can I get better with my chords? My fingers keep silencing the string under. Number one, you can't avoid the process. That's one part. And I'm not saying that you are trying to do that. A part of that is making your body do what you tell it to do. And it's like using an iron to kind of iron out kinks, in our muscle memory. And we just have to, the repetition is what's going to make it do what it does. And you got to be willing to practice effectively. Okay. If it's practicing wrong, then you're just establishing bad habits. All right. So I'm gonna make that statement. Which is why I'm here. It's just to kind of point out a couple of little things. Sometimes it's this little small thing that's kind of getting in the way of making you better, to be honest. One thing that could possibly, because I don't know what kind of guitar you're playing. I don't know if it's electric, acoustic. I don't have that information to really answer your question. So this is a very general question. I mean, this is the general answer, because I don't know what you're playing on. Is make sure that your guitar is set up in a way that is very comfortable for you to play. Because you might just have a badly set up guitar, to be quite honest with you. Sometimes that gets in the way and people give up because they found a guitar at a pawn shop. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I found this guitar at a pawn shop for $55. But I upgraded it. I made it exactly how I wanted it to be. That is okay. It's electric, cool. Typically electric guitars are easier to play. But one thing about electric guitars is that the necks are typically a little more narrow, and I don't know if you have larger fingers. So that might be a factor. I don't have large fingers. I have like medium-sized fingers. But I still had to figure out how to understand what's getting in the way. And sometimes it's just these little very miniature, minor, nuanced movements. And you just got to do it over and over and over, Sometimes string height is a factor. Sometimes string gauge is a factor. Like how thick or how heavy the string is. Sometimes that's a factor. It does like impede on what you're trying to do. So I don't know if you know the gauge of your strings, if they're like 10s or 9s or whatever. But yeah, all those things are factors. So the practical steps to actually getting a better setup is wherever the nearest guitar shop, Guitar Center, whatever. Like ask if they set guitars up. Like ask them like, how much do you charge to make my strings lower, or to change my strings, or to whatever. And they'll make sure that it's at a comfortable height. Or maybe you can find another guitar that feels good to you, and you can ask them, hey, can you set it up like this? This feels better to me. Can you make it like this? Okay. So that can be a factor. So the initial things that I mentioned is valid. Those things are important. But sometimes a badly playing guitar, that's not the whole thing, but it can contribute. So I hope that helps. You were saying that you don't have much interaction with the band anymore, so all my playing is noodling or with establishing songs, and I find it limited by playing ability. Yeah, you got to get around other guitar players, man. That's why I'm here. That's why I call it the Guitar Players Club, because it is my effort. It is literally just my effort. I mean, I just want to virtually get together, hopefully in the future establish some in-person meetups, and just grow and build, and just have a creative outlet, inspire creativity, have a place to center your mind and just be creative. It ain't nothing you taking seriously, or you might take it seriously. I started out just buying a $90 guitar and now the guitar profits me, and I'm able to take care of my family with it. I knew it was gonna go that way, but it was so far off. I'm like, can I really do that? Yeah. Is there a wrong and right? I said practicing wrong. Yes, there is a wrong way to do it. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say you're playing like a E major chord, and you're like tucking your elbow into your side like this, when it may be a little better to do it this way. Like, it just may be a little more comfortable. So some people don't experiment with different positions to figure out what's most comfortable for them. They just try to play the chord that they're told to play. Just doing it does not mean that you just got to do it. Figure out the most comfortable way to do it for you. That's what I mean, practicing right or wrong. When I say pursue the discomfort, I don't mean just practice until your fingertips are bloody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying figure out the most comfortable way, and hopefully you can get with somebody to sit with you, like myself or whoever else that you rock with, and they can tell you whether or not, okay, you can probably just angle your hand just this way, and that might be a little better, and just do that with everything, kind of get little tips, and it makes a big difference. So, because you don't want to practice wrong and build bad habits, as well as holding your back straight. Guitar players typically slump over. Like, hold your back straight. That's important. It's things like that. All right, TikTok. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to head out because I think y'all have had enough of me, and that's all good. So I love y'all. Peace.